Hi everybody, it's Kelly from LOCH BRIAR Knits coming to you from a very sunny, somewhat cold Nova Scotia, Canada. It is February 2nd, 2019, and this is episode 48, I'm pretty sure. So let's get into it. Let's get some administration done before I completely lose my train of thought, which will happen in about 10 seconds or so. Where to find me? I'm most active on Instagram at Kelly L. Boyce, and also on Ravelry as LOCH BRIAR. We have a Ravelry group, LOCH BRIAR Knits. And what else? I have a hand-dyed yarn shop on Etsy, LOCH BRIAR Knits. I'm going to put all of the links for everything down below. And I think that's everything. So welcome to all the returning viewers and subscribers. Thanks so much for coming back every week. I love you guys. For all the new viewers and subscribers, welcome. Hope you'll stick around and you'll come back. There's a little thumbs up button if you like what you see, and it's on one of these sides, and I can never remember which one it is. So one of these. If you click the thumbs up, that helps us get the word out, and subscribe if you want to be notified. Hit the little bell for when new content comes up. And I think that's it. Did I get through it all? 2 years in. I get it. And I realized if this is episode 48, that this would make it my 2-year podiversary, although there was a little bit of a hitch when I think I took a couple weeks off for the shoulder. So I'm probably a week behind, but this is like 2 years as far as how many episodes I've put out, which I think I've been pretty consistent other than with the shoulder issue, doing it every 2 weeks. I think I've been pretty good with that. So I'm drinking my usual lemon thriller. No, nothing new and exciting there in my IKEA mug, my blue and white IKEA mug. Yeah, so that's it. That's it. Thanks for stopping by. No. Let's get right into finished objects, because people, I have finished my Veronika cardi by Shannon Cook, and I gotta tell you, this bad boy is so warm, which is good because it's cold down here today. Looking over there, my floor looks a little dusty. You probably didn't need to know that. Or maybe it's just the way the sun is hitting it. Or maybe a combination of both. I should really edit that out. Hi, I have dirty floors. I really should edit that out. Anyway, finished objects. So I'm going to push back and stand up so you can see. Here it is. Shake it down. It's actually, and I don't know if I can, you can see how long it is. I'm going to stand in the chair. If things go bad, remember me fondly. I probably have dog hair on it because, I tried to keep it off. But it goes like down to a good length, which I really like. And so I think I'm kind of tempted to stitch this up maybe a little more, but I don't know. I kind of like having the freedom of movement, and I don't know if any of you have made this. Did you stitch it up a little more, or did you leave it open that much? Because I think it just says to like stitch it, come back now, along the hem, which would just be as far as I did. But I love this. I used Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Superwash in their Garnet Heather colorway. And I actually have, the bag's on the other side of the room, but I think I have 3 balls of yarn left. And then a bit of another one. So I bought more than I actually needed, which is good to know for future. But I've got some worsted weight yarn I can make a hat or something warm out of, which has been really cold, and apparently not as cold as those of you in the polar vortex. I've been watching like the little video clips of people throwing hot water and turning it into snow, and I think the coldest we've gotten so far has been minus 11, minus 13, maybe minus 13. Then the wind chill kicks in and it's minus 25, but I just realized I didn't do my nails. I was in such a rush to see you guys. So yeah, so this is my finished object. I did realize that the mattress stitch was not quite as easy as I had anticipated. I did have to pull it out at one point because I think I was like, I had one side up a little higher than the other at the bottom, so the hem was kind of went. But once I kind of got it, I watched a tutorial on it because I don't think I've ever done the mattress stitch before that I can recall. Dog hair. So I did that, and then I did make one mistake, of course, early on, and this is, I'll probably see it if I don't stretch it out. This is where I actually, across here, naturally right across the center of my boob, I got my knit one, purl one ribbing off kilter and ended up doing it, but by the time I realized, I was kind of like up here, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna take that back. But the thing is that this sort of curls. It's kind of right there, but I mean, really, if somebody's staring that hard at my boob, I think we're gonna have other issues than them pointing out I made a mistake. It's like, eyes up. So yeah, so that's my finished object. I really like it. I'm kind of tempted to make, I'm going to keep this one at the office just because the red really shows up the dog hair. So I figure since the office is always so cold, my original plan was just to take this to the office so I could wear it. And this past week, the office has been freezing, but I didn't take it in because I wanted to have it here for the podcast. And it's kind of big and bulky, so I don't want to transport it back and forth. But I might make one in gray for home just to have, because it's just so nice and warm and it's easy to wear. And I think once the spring hits and you don't want to wear like a bulky jacket or anything like this, I could probably just throw this on and go outside. So I may make another one, but I've got like 6 million other things I want to make as well. So I don't know. I want to knit all the new stuff before I start repeating myself. So this is my finished object, and I'm very happy with it. And that was the Veronika Cardi by Shannon Cook, and I'll try to remember to put a link below for that. And yeah, so that's it for finished objects. I was gonna try to have the sock done. I didn't. I did make progress though. So this is my little tangled stitch bag, and that I got. This is one of my Christmas presents to me. And it's a little drawstring bucket bag. I love these things. They're so cute. So this is the sock I'm knitting out of Homespun House in her Jingleberry colorway. So this is my Christmas Eve cast on, and it's what now, February 2nd? Like, this has taken a long time for a pair of socks for me. But it was mostly because I was sort of dedicating all my time to getting this finished, and then I cast on something new, which we'll get to in a minute. I don't know why I sing. Like, any of you out there that are actually good singers and you hear me sing, I'm sorry. I literally can't carry a tune in a bucket. Yeah, and I don't know why I keep singing, because I know I can't sing. I'm a horrible singer, so I don't know why I keep doing it, but I do. I don't know why. I don't know why. So anyway, here's my sock. Here's the only downside about this sweater is because it's so long I keep sitting on it. There we go. I have turned the corner. I am almost done because I don't have very big feet, so I probably only have, I'd say maybe another 3 inches max. I love this colorway though. I love how it's knitting up, and there you go. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. It's got all these crazy colors in it. When you first look at it in the skein, you think it's just sort of like the red and the greens. Then you realize it's all these kind of other tones in it as well. So, yeah, and I'm knitting that on my usual Chow Goose, which are my favorite. Yeah, so one sock, and I'm not even done. So that's I'm going to try to have that done by the next podcast, because really, it's like 3 inches. I should be able to finish it this weekend and have the other one cast on. Because, yeah, it really shouldn't take this long. So that and this were mostly what I was working on. I finished this one, when did I finish it? I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So I finished it on Thursday because I was knitting up the seams Thursday night because I wanted to take it with me when I went away on Friday. So yeah, so then I cast on a new project. Oh, that's so good. I love that tea. Where's my, oh yeah, here we are. This is in my loop bag. Also, I love drawstring bags, because one thing, I had this in my zippered bag, and a couple of times I caught the yarn on the zipper. So I'm becoming a really big fan of the drawstring, or of the drawstring bags. So I cast on, there I go, I'm singing again. Oh, I gotta stop that. I'm not gonna stop it. Sorry, people. Da da da. I cast on The Weekender by Andrea Mowry. And this is actually knitting up pretty quickly. I'm knitting it out of Knit Picks again, because they're very economical and I like their yarn. Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Superwash in the Heather Persimmon Heather colorway. Oops. So there we go. It's like this great kind of rusty orange color, which is one of my favorites. So far. See if I can do this without pulling it off the needles, because that would be bad. Here we are. I'm knitting the small. I really don't want to pull the needles out. I'm totally paranoid about that. Okay, so, no, this is it, right, okay. So, this is the front, and this is the, there. So, it pretty much is identical. It's got, like, the split hem here. So, one thing I did notice, I'm just going to pull these through, is... find it here. Okay, so, and this isn't a big deal because I can seam it. I can't do this with that in my lap. So, if you'll see here, oh wow, I'm getting really blown out. Sorry about that. So, I think you can kind of see here. The stitches are a little looser. So it's not that big a deal because I can just sort of take that and kind of stitch it tighter. So, but that's, and I'm not really sure. I think that was just maybe when I was casting on or joining the two that I did that. And it's sort of the same idea on the other side as well. And I don't know what I did here, and I think once I, see, it's just a kind of the stitch looks way looser. And that's sort of where I joined a new ball, I think. So when I pull it, it sort of tightens it up a bit. But again, I can just, when I weave in the ends, I can sort of weave it through there and fix that. So, but I love the color. Like, this is one of my favorite colors to wear, is that sort of burnt orange. So this is just from maybe a couple of nights, maybe 3 nights. I got the ribbing done, and then I put in a little work for about 45 minutes a night. So I don't think it's going to actually take that long to knit this up. I really don't. Which is good, because I feel like I'm all about the sweaters this year. So, and again, I may have probably overdone it on how many balls I got, because I went by what the pattern said, and then I think then I also I might have added like an extra ball just to be on the safe side. If they were on sale, I may have added 2. I don't remember. So that and the sock are kind of mostly what I've been knitting on. So my very unfortunate bird of a feather shawl has gotten no love at all. Like literally. This is sad. I love how this thing looks. It's so nice and soft. And I know I've got a lace section that I have to do next. And I don't know if I'm just being a baby about that or what, but I love really very large banana hammock. But I love it. I really, you know what? I should get that section done this weekend. There's no excuse. Because I really want to finish it. I want to wear it. And I've seen other people's finished objects. So I think it's just, I have a weird mental block about doing that lace section, because I always screw up lace sections. And the idea of having to back out anything with mohair in it, although I don't think the section, yeah, see, the lace section isn't even in the mohair yarn. It's in the fingering weight. So I have no excuse. No excuse. I don't know what my problem is. I have issues. So that is really, I was going to knit myself a hat with this, like I mentioned last time, and that didn't happen. I have all these lofty goals, and then I remember that I have like 3 jobs and a family, and apparently those things want to use up my time, and they use up far too much of my time, because I would really like to be knitting. So what else? I did buy, okay, so for any of you who have followed me from early on, especially the very beginning, before I switched over to Magic Loop, sorry, I'm just going to pull this off, you will know that DPNs are not my friend. I find them really awkward. So at my local yarn store, they brought in the, I think they're called the Addi Flexibles. Addi, can't see because I don't have my glasses on. Well, Addi. The Addi, but you know, the flexible DPNs. So this is weird because there's only 3. Is that normal? I don't know. Is it? Am I supposed to just have 3? I don't know. See, this is how much I know about the Addi Flexibles. And now that I'm looking at it, the tip isn't like super pointy. Oh wait, sorry, I lied. One end is pointier than the other. So let me see if I can, nope, that's the pointy end. Yeah, okay, so I don't know. See if I can show this up close. So you can kind of see one has a longer point and is pointier, that's this one, than this one. So Because usually when you get TPNs, you get like 4 or 5. Usually 4, right? Right? Anyway, clearly I'll need a tutorial. FlexiFlips, that's it. No, this set of 3 21cm flexible double point needles are perfect for sock knitting and other projects worked in the round. So, I got the 2.0 millimeter or US 0 because that's usually what I do my socks in. So, I am going to try knitting my next pair of socks on with those just to see how it goes. Oh, hey, look. Oh yeah, each needle has a sharp rocket tip on one end and a more rounded turbo tip on the other. Oh, and they kind of show you. Okay, that sort of makes sense, I think. I'm still watching a tutorial. They kind of give you a little diagram. So, yeah. So it's almost sort of like magic loop in a way, maybe. I don't know. But that's what the tutorials are for. So I am going to try those out. And if I like them, I'm going to get a couple of the larger sizes and use that for knitting sleeves on sweaters rather than doing the magic loop. If I feel like it'll be faster. So that's the plan. I'm going to hang on to that because I may need it. So that was my purchase. I did get, there's going to be crinkling. Hang tight. So if any of you are in a Homespun House Game of Thrones sock club and you haven't received your January ones yet, which you probably have, but if you haven't, look away. I'm trying not to crinkle too badly. So, grab my glasses here again. This is the Plump Merino Fingering base of hers. And this is House of Stark. Now, here's the funny thing. When it was in the bag, you kind of have the plastic wrapped around it. And it looked like it was all these gray tones. Oops. But it's not. It's so much more. Look at this. It's got like, this is the House of Stark colorway, in case I forgot to mention that. But it's got all of these like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And it's so funny because in the bag, it looked like it was mostly sort of like gray tones with some white through it. And then you pull it out of the bag and I was like, oh wait, there's green. Oh my God, look at the blue. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I have, so there's 3 skeins in the club. There's one for January, February, and March, which is great because the next season starts in April. I think that's the last season, which is unfortunate, but yeah, so I'm really excited to see what the other 3 or the other 2 skeins look like. And I'm not knitting anything with this until I get all the skeins together. And then I think I would like to do a 3 shawl, 3 skein shawl color, 3 skein, 3 color. Okay. 3 skein of different color shawl. That was that was just bad. That was bad. Well done. Well done, KB. Okay, crinkling. Ah! More crinkling. There. Okay. So yeah, I want to see, I've done the freer fade. Yeah, the freer fade. And I really like that, but I've knit that twice, once for me and then once for my sister. So I'm going to look around and see. And I do want to make a shawl that uses, a good portion of all of the colors, not just a little of one and then, just so that I'm making use of most of the ones. And then anything that's left over, I may make just like a faded cowl out of it, or a hat, or a pair of socks, maybe. Something like that. So, yeah. I find like, because I've only been sort of dedicating my time to one or two projects, I feel like there's not a whole lot of knitting content. So I'm looking at the time there going, wow, that wasn't a whole lot. But let's carry on, shall we? So that was the acquisitions. That was all my acquisitions. Because I've started going back to the gym, so I haven't been going down to the yarn shop as much, because I've been at the gym in the lunch hour. But I did get some yarn dyeing in, so I will be having shop update tomorrow, February, what did I say today was 2nd, so February 3rd. And it's just a small update, but I think I showed you in the last episode that I had the Shut the Barn Door was going to be in the shop, but I also have some new colorways. So this is Midnight Craving, and I have all of these on my classic sock base, which is a 75-25, my Twisted Sister, which is the BFL base, and then the Gush base, which is the MCN. So this is Midnight Craving, and I just did a quick skein up, so sorry for my sloppy skeins. I'm gonna have to redo those before I take my pictures. And then you can kind of see it's like speckles of black and purple and some blues. And this one started out as just a tester, but I really liked how it was turning out, so I think I'm going to make this a regular in the shop. But I love this one. So that's Midnight Craving. And, oops, dropping. The next one was this. So this is going to be sort of, it'll have a micro striping effect, and this one is called Yield. See? So it's like this bright kind of gold and red. So that's the Gush base, and then the classic sock, and the BFL. I love how this one turned out. The colors are so nicely saturated. So that's Yield. And then the other one is a returning favorite from before, and that is Woodsy. So this is a little darker than what it's showing. So this is a mix of kind of earthy tones, browns and greens. So the green's getting a little blown out here, but I'll have pictures of these up on Instagram and then also obviously in the shop. So that's Woodsy coming back to the shop. I love this color. I need to, I think I pulled one out for myself in the last batch, so I've got to get that knitted up. And again, that's on my three bases, Gush, Classic Sock, and BFL Twisted Sister. So that is what is going in the shop along. There's also some other things there, and I put, I had sort of one-of colorways left that I put in clearance, so those are marked down to $20 Canadian a skein, and there's some of those in there. I'm also doing the free shipping. If you buy more than $84 Canadian, your shipping is free. And I think that's everything for shop news. So those will be up in the shop tomorrow. Let's see, what else have we got going on? I think that's really it. Wow. this, my episodes are getting shorter. What the hell, people? I gotta stop with this monogamous knitting. It doesn't suit me. What is in the queue next? Let's see. That's not in the queue next though, but that's like Quince & Co. My Finch in Fjord. I love this. Oh, the color is so gorgeous. And I do have a project. Sorry, crinkling. Crinkle alert. I do have a project picked out for that, but that's always subject to change. So we'll see. We'll see. What else have we got? All right. So next up, I think I will jump into, after the Weekender is done, is going to be a fingering weight sweater with, once again, knit picks. This one is the Stroll Tweed. Yeah, the Stroll Tweed in Dill. So I love this color. It's a little brighter than what it's showing on screen. I don't know why the cameras don't like green. But that is going to be Rachel by Jose Paquin, which is You and I Knits. I love just the easy, kind of relaxed construction of this sweater. So that is probably going to be next. And if it's not that, then it will be da, da, da. Oh yeah. Which is made from, this will be the Telluride in a color, color 2978. So boring. And that's Isabel Kramer, her JC cardigan. And I have some buttons sort of picked out that I want to buy, but I'm going to wait until after I get it knit up. And then I'm going to take it into my local yarn store and sort of fit the buttons to make sure I get the right fit, but also that it just, I want to have the sweater there when I pick it out just to kind of hold it against the sweater. And that's kind of what's in the queue. I don't think I have another shawl picked out other than the one I am designing myself, and I'm going to be using these yarns, bloop, bloop, to do it. And I really want to get started on that. I really want to get started on that. So, yeah, and I'll probably show you guys a little of the process as I go along. And that's pretty much what's in the queue. So life news. Let's see. Last weekend I had 3 of my friends down to the Schooner House, which is a house my father-in-law bought for him and us to use. He lives in Toronto. So we go out there and we kind of share the house. But he was in Toronto that week. So we went out there and we had a great time. We had the deer coming through the yard constantly. Although here's one thing. If you watch the beginning clip, you see the 2 fawns kind of running around each other. So it's them and their mama deer. And they were kind of like going through the yard, but on our last day they were kind of coming around the corner of the house and they were really close to the window, and I noticed that mama deer couldn't put any weight on her front paw, so she was limping. Hoof, I guess, not paw. I have a dog. Which I was freaking out because it just looked so painful, and I was close enough to see that there wasn't any broken bones like sticking through. That would have freaked me out. There was no blood. She didn't look injured in any other way other than she couldn't put her weight down on it. So we have a rescue group in our area. Actually, they're not too far from the house. And so I called them up and I said, here's the situation. So they said, is there any bone exposed? And I said, no, there's no bone. There's no blood. She otherwise looks completely fine. So they said, just keep an eye on her. A lot of times they've tracked animals that have injured their front leg, and they managed to do just fine with the 3 remaining. And the other concern is where deer are often quite skittish. If they try to do a rescue and kind of capture her to do care, they can sometimes cause more damage than what was there and make the matter worse. So they said, keep an eye on her. If it looks like she's not grazing, and of course, as they were saying this, she was going to town on the lawn. So I said, no, she's definitely eating. She's got the 2 fawns. I don't know what you call them when they're adolescents now, maybe, because they're almost as big as she is. They actually are. They may be as big as she is now, but you can always tell because they're usually trailing her, and you can tell who's boss. So she was grazing, and they said just make sure that her, if you start to notice like ribs, she's getting thinner, then give us a call and let us know. So I felt a little better kind of after I talked to them, but every time I saw her limping, I was just like, oh, it was just like heartbreaking. So my husband's down there today, and he took some deer feed down with him just to make sure that they do have plenty of food. 'Cause I'm concerned where it's winter, and we got some snow this week. I'm worried that if she has to kind of paw to get to the grass, she's not going to be able to do that if her leg is still injured. My hope is that she just tweaked it, because she was fine all weekend, and then on the last day she was limping. So I'm hoping that maybe she just twisted it and it was really tender, and she was just favoring it, and then hopefully it feels better by now and she's okay. But if not, at least we can put some deer feed down for them, just to make sure that she's able to get fed. So he's down there doing that today. But the writing retreat was fantastic. We had 3 days of writing, and on the second day, I think it was the second day or the third day, there is the Rails to Trails, which is they made walking and biking trails out of the old railroad tracks. And they kind of go through like all over. I think they're actually doing it, and I don't know if it's the same one, but they're doing it from one end of Canada to the other. So you could literally hike or bike on the trails from, the furthest end of Canada to the other. Now, granted, if you're starting in Newfoundland, you're going to have to take a ferry over at some point to land, or PEI. Well, actually, PEI, you can just come across the bridge, but you can't hike it. So, yeah. Anyway, the point is there's going to be trails from one end of Canada to the other. So, which I would love to like take a month and bike from one end of Canada to the other. I think I could do it in a month. I don't know. I don't think my husband's going to go for that. So that might be something I do in my retirement on my own while he's still working, because he's younger than I am. So I get to retire first. Then maybe I'll take a month and I'll go. But yeah, we did walk the trails. We walked about 3K in and then 3K back, because it had rained a couple days beforehand. So the trail was fairly clear, and it was beautiful. It was really, really nice. We took some pictures of that and I posted them on Instagram. But yeah, I got lots of writing done. We played some games in the evenings and drank wine and just had a really great time. So that was fun. And then what else went on? That was really about it. Oh, I had my follow-up appointment with the surgeon, and I now do not have to go back for any more routine appointments. He said my arm or my shoulder is doing fantastic. I'm just at the 3-month post-op mark, so I'm a little ahead of the game as far as the usual length of time it takes to heal, which is fantastic. I'm allowed to start lifting heavier weights again. I can just go back about my regular activities. He said it's at about 85% now, and the rest is just strength building. So that's fantastic. And he said it's like moving really smoothly in the joint. He looked at the x-rays and everything's laying as it should. So boom, full recovery expected. And it feels so good. I got that news on Thursday, so Friday I went to the gym at lunchtime and started lifting heavier weights, and it felt so good. It felt so good. So I'm hoping I can start getting back into the shape I was in before I injured myself, like, what, 7 months ago now? Which I'm really looking forward to. So that was really good news. So I was happy about that. And I think that's really about it. That's all that's been going on. So I have got the day to myself because my husband went to bottle some wine, and then he's going out to the other house. Then I think he's picking up his son, who's snowboarding, and they're running some errands. So I kind of have the day to myself. So I've got to get the pictures done for the shop update. And then I'm probably going to go down to the coffee shop and edit the podcast and get this up probably get it up tomorrow on the Sunday. So I guess that's it. So I should see you guys in another couple of weeks, hopefully. Just don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below on one of these sides. And so I'm going to go get some photographing and knitting and editing in today, and with a nice hot beverage, probably my latte of choice. And until then, I will see you guys. So happy knitting, and see you in a couple weeks. Bye.